Mike, just the first week of the NFL, I'm glad it's back. I ruined a good Sunday afternoon watching football, but I don't know if that's ever a bad thing. You know?
Yeah, I watched a lot of football too this weekend, which I don't always do.
A couple observations. One, the Eagles got to win. That's all that matters. After watching what happened to Penn State, which I felt like they should have got a win, and maybe they'll feel it's a moral win, but they still lost. The Eagles 17-16, I think that was the final score of their game?
17-16 of both games that we're talking about here. Yeah.
But the Eagles should never have won that game and got the win. Vic played horrible, and I don't think a lot of it was. Some of it is just rust because you're not out there and play in that speed and the action. But he just bad decisions.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. He was awful, and they were very fortunate to win. On the other hand, it's a win in a close game, which they did not have a lot of last year, in which they probably underachieved because of that. I thought their defense played pretty well most of the time. Granted, against a quarterback who was clearly overmatched in Brandon Weeden. And I think one of the worst teams in the league, and if you're an Eagles fan, you're thinking, thank goodness we were playing one of the worst teams in the league because we won. We won on the road. It's a good thing.
One of the worst teams, but Vic put him in positions. That defense was on the field a lot and in bad positions, and I thought a lot of times when they held Browns to a field goal or something was really good. Why would you have Vic, his first real action since he didn't really have preseason, and you don't want to get banged up? Why would you throw the ball? What was it, 61 times total?
It's amazing.
You got LaShawn McCoy. You have the other young running backs.
This Andy Reid, who was an offensive lineman as a player, by the way. And Marty Mornhinweg. This is built into their DNA. This is who they are. I don't understand it, and I don't think it's ever going to really completely changed.
The Browns' front line was actually banged up too, so you could have the two.
A bad defense against the run and a pretty good defense against the pass that they were playing against.
Yeah, and Joe Hayden, who just got suspended, is a very good cornerback. Was out there, got an interception. Run the ball, make it easier. That way you can use play action. I don't know. Other games, I follow the Eagles. I also follow the Packers. I did not like the matchup playing against the 49ers in Week 1. Sure enough, the 49ers played well. I think they have a great defense. Scary to think that David Akers is hitting kicks from more than 60 yards at his age.
How about that?
The 49ers pulled off a very good win. I'm impressed with their coach. I think he's a little bit of I didn't like what he did last year with Detroit, but you know what?
Right.
Darn good coach.
Yeah,
and
they are well
that's a heck of a win against the 49ers in Week 1. That's one of those statement games right there. I think the Cowboys had one against the Giants as well on the road.
I think that certainly San Francisco is one of the teams that impressed. I think the Atlanta Falcons are another one. I think the Baltimore Ravens are another one. I think the Texans are another one. I think those are teams that we thought were going to be good, and the Patriots too. On the road easily win, and so a lot of teams that we thought would be good. Were and then there were some other ones that the Saints kind of laid an egg. The Packers, you'd have to say, was defensively they look like they have some issues to say the least. I forgot about the Jets. The Jets might have been the biggest surprise other than this circus, and supposedly they don't have any offense, and Mark Sanchez is this reviled figure, and all of a sudden they go out and put 48 on the board.
Against what was a good Buffalo team good defense.
Thought they were okay, sure, yeah.
So that was impressive as well. Adrian Peterson was also impressive. As much as I thought, there's no way he's going to play much at all. He winds up scoring 2 touchdowns, looked darn good out there. And Maurice Jones-Drew misses all of preseason and winds up having to play a lot more than they wanted to because Rashard Jennings got hurt. Jennings almost scored a touchdown. Had him starting in fantasy. That didn't work out well for me. But those two guys, especially Peterson, talk about, he's like the $6 million man.
He's just a very, very elite athlete. And running back is maybe the position where where it's easiest to do that. But I don't want to take anything away from him. He's special. He is absolutely special.
It's like Steve Austin out there.
There you go.